Welcome back to Serious Chess. And that was my stalemate against Leelachessqueenodds. That was my game of the day a mere 2 days ago. But I said that we would be back on the mound. We would be like Chris Sale every season. He gets injured, but he usually comes back later in the season. Unlike Chris Sale, I do not get paid for doing this. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Since if you can see this, you're kind of like Tom Cruise. When he's driving on the road and there's a problem, he stops and he helps. Do you know why? Because he knows that he's the only one who can. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just watch his performance on Oprah. I think it was the same. No, that might have been on the Today Show with Matt Lauer, but I digress. So now what we've seen Leela do is push the king side pawns, which is what all robots do. Stockfish will do that. You can keep an eye on the evaluation on the left-hand side, which I edited in and added on after I chose this game of the day. Which I will eventually get to an interesting position at. And then I chose that position. I took that position and I played Stockfish level 8 from that position. And you can too, if you copy and paste the FEN, which is going to be in the video description below. That knight move is a very important move to protect the pawn with. There was one thing I didn't say. I'm not positive what it was. But yes, only you can share, comment, and subscribe, because only you can see this. Now, if you look at the evaluation, it's going to tell me to take the pawn on F5 over and over and over again. So I believe that the reason for that is because I will then be able to push pawns to victory and allow my dark squared bishop to win the rook, or now check the king and probably win the rook as well, if not simply checkmate him. So it's just telling me to play that move over and over again. So if there's any of these positions that look interesting to you, there is a way for you to just take those positions and play from them as well. But stay with me to the end of the game, and I will show you how to do that using something like the FEN, which is listed below in the video description, along with some proof of fair play. Not that anybody's actually questioning my fair play, but it's it's important for me. That's not for you. That's for me. If that makes sense. So it still just wants me to take that pawn. I didn't know, I was having a difficult time what to play there, and I was really not sure of whether or not if he took right there. See, if he took the pawn with his knight there, I really wasn't sure if I was going to survive the situation. So I wasn't positive on how this would work out, because I have I have two defenders of that square. So if I had taken back with the knight, I guess it seems like it wouldn't have been okay. It seems like it's not okay. Oh, but I could, no, it kind of is okay, but it's very hard to say, because when his bishop moved, I would still be able to move or block or something. Okay, great. So now I've never seen anything like what's about to happen here against Leela, and it affected me, and I think it will affect you too. So hang in there and watch for another 10 seconds if you've made it this far. Okay, so now Leela playing moves. I have 19 seconds left. Now, when you have 19 seconds left against Leela, it feels like you have 5 seconds left against anybody else. At least if you're me, I've played this 7 days in a row, and like 150 times, and all I've gotten is a lousy stalemate and a t-shirt. It said what the same thing I just said. All right, so now it felt like he was playing fake moves. I felt like he wasn't even playing real moves. I felt like he was losing on purpose. That's what I felt like, and I started feeling like, Leela, what is this? What is this? What's happening? I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. So I was about to checkmate Leela, and I felt like it wasn't even trying. I don't know why I felt like it wasn't trying. I just felt like it wasn't trying. So I played this move and I went, ah, heck, what's going on? And I stalemated. And I went, I'm going to see what's going on because I felt like I shouldn't win in that scenario. I felt like it was trying to lose. Therefore, I should not win. That's how I felt. I hope that makes sense. And I'm so sorry. All right. And so, and it did say Leela blundered once, but that blunder was at the very beginning of the game. It says that Leela blunders on move 1 to take account for the missing queen. So apparently, the whatever happened in that game was some kind of like glitch. All right, so after copying and pasting the fen, which is below in the video description, I selected continue against the computer and I went for Stockfish level 8. And because I reviewed the game before I played this, and I saw that move that it kept telling me to play, I saw that it kept telling me to take the pawn with the light squared bishop. That was my first move in this game. So I believe I started from move 17. There were a number of positions in this game that were very interesting. So, yeah. In the past, I probably wouldn't have been able to figure out this position, but luckily now I have had more experience recognizing the different kind of patterns that emerge, and so I think it is pretty safe to say that even though I may not have put the entire puzzle together, so to speak, the vast majority of it, I think has been. It's like you could see the picture kind of forming. So you can see you can see the city of Paris, that is just a little bit obscured by just a few missing pieces. A man's life is like a jigsaw puzzle, and in the end, Rosebud was just another piece, a missing piece. So now I should move the queen and just kind of allow his knight to take mine. But I went for this because if his knight had taken mine, I could have still taken the pawn twice with check. So this is an extremely sharp position, and I go for the idea of defending this pawn. Although it is very tempting to anchor it against the a pawn, and I would recommend that is what a person trying this out at home does. Let me know in the comment section if you do that. But instead of anchoring it, I thought, why don't I just leave it on this diagonal? It'll protect the pawn, and so effectively I have turned my bishop into a pawn. I have pawned it, you could say. Maybe that's the source of that term. I'm not sure. Okay. It seems like the only reason that most people know that you can promote a pawn to a queen is because of the wired. So I'm not sure though. I'm not sure. Jimmy. Okay, so the way to march to victory in this game is by having one of many ways is to have the king either take out the pawn on the F file or the pawn on the A file, because he can't guard both those and the pawns in the center at the same time. This is a scary move because I do allow him that response. But I possibly could have still pushed the G pawn and brought the dark squared bishop back to defend against that checkmate. Although that requires a small bit more math. So now I'm about to get to a position which, well, I mean, it would be really hard to lose this game at this point. But I'm about to find a really cool move. I would have I would have won either way, but the move I find is really cool. Um, if you were a beginner in chess, dude, I'm sure that you would still somehow lose this game. Stockfish is incredibly difficult. So don't, just because I make it look easy doesn't mean it is. So that's my cool move. I take, and now if he had taken back with his bishop, I push the pawn, and he has no way of defending against the promotion. So he does not. Um, he does not make the worst moves. He does allow the game to go on a little bit further, but as you can see, this is not going to end in a stalemate unless I mean that this ending in a stalemate, that would be genuinely bad. That would be genuinely bad. But I see that after a few seconds of searching both my soul and the board, I find that that is the move to play. The king has no choice but to go down, and now I get to promote the pawn. Check out the links in the video description. One will be for checkmating the way that Stockfish checkmates with just a queen and a king versus just a king. And I think I will make a video showing how I do it with a rook and a king, which is the same way that Stockfish does it. It's really easy. It's specialized for speed chess. So check that out. And it was also in yesterday's game of the day. I included that. So a little uncovered check with the queen, and a checkmate. All right. Ankh is on to something. This is one of the few games I've ever played, even though it's not a full game, that told me that I played 100% accuracy. I kid you not, 100.